Okay, so we need to calculate the duration part. So for the duration is basically you need to calculate from the reference point, like how much time when the subject is enrolled. So you remember RF STDTC? So that is a reference start date, like the enrollment start date, the reference start date, which is the date the subject is entered into the clinical project. So this is the date, right? So from this date to, so in this case, the exposure, right? And the treatment start date, EX STDTC. So how much time it takes from RF STDTC to the EX STDTC? So we need to calculate the days in the days format. So that is the duration we need to calculate. Okay. So the same goes with the concomitant medication, same goes with the EXE data set, and how much time when the subject is enter into the clinical project to concomitant medication, enter into the project to the event is happen, adverse event is happen, and so that's duration we need to calculate. Okay, so for that reason we need to get some information from the DM data set. Okay, data. So we have SDTM-DM, right? Yeah. So DM1 set SDTM dot DM. So I'm gonna take the directive from RF STDN because we need to require in the numeric format. Okay, so we need only the date part, same like this one. So date part of input of. So RFX STDTC. Okay, now yes, it's 601 DT. Then you apply format. So we don't need RFE and DTN because we don't need that information, which is the end of the clinical project. We need only from the starting to the particular treatment start date. So we need to calculate that information. Okay. So we have we need to get keep unique subject ID. And this one and this one. So so we got our RFSTDN and we got XSTDN. We need to calculate our the duration things. So before that, we're gonna match. Okay, I put here duration. And this one is merging DM1 with EX. So before merging, we need to sort data EX2 unique subject ID and run. Okay, so we run these 3 of them. Check if you have any errors. So we don't have any errors here. So data DM-EX. Okay. So match DM1 input A EX2 P by unique subject ID. So if A and B. So you know these ones, right? In the merging concept. If A has B, if A and B. Yeah, so whatever common observation, you will get it from this things. Okay.
Matching records from both database
Yeah, the common
based
observations.
on your subject ID.
Yes. Okay, so you run it. Check if you have it. So 48, 92. So there is a 92 observations and 33 variables. Okay. So we got subject reference because this one we take it from there, right? So oops, from the DM dataset. Okay, so we got all the information here. EXSTDTC. Let me check if we have ENDTN. Okay, so we have this information too. Okay, that's great. So we're going to calculate the duration thing. Okay. So data DMEX1 set DMEX. Okay. So basically we don't need any kind of missing values to calculate. So we all need the dates are present only. So for that reason, if so EX STGTN, so you can put not equal to missing, okay, because this is in the numeric format. You can put like that, or you can just simply put not equal to missing, okay. And RF STGTN not equal to, sorry, missing, then do, okay. So if EX STBTN, okay, greater than or equal to, okay, either the subject is enter into the clinical project like before he took the treatment, or equal to the same day the treatment was given when the subject was entered in the clinical project. Okay, so RFSTGTN, then so this part EXSTGY. This is a common formula for calculating the duration. EXSTGTN minus RFSTGTN. Okay. And here there is a +1. Why do we create the +1? Because obviously if these two are same date, you will get 0 values. Okay, 0 minus from this one to minus this one is gonna get 0. So the 0 we don't consider in the CDISC rules. As per the rules, we don't consider the negatives and the 0 values for the calculation of the duration. So we need to put +1. Okay, that is one of the important questions they will ask in interview. What is a day one? Like +1 +1 +1 rule in CDISC. They will ask like that, CDISC or duration calculation. So the basically is saying about we don't need, as per the CDISC rule, as per CDISC rules, should not have 0 or negative values. But this for duration calculation. For that reason only they put +1 symbol. Okay. Okay. Else, so you can put like else if EXSTGTN less than, okay, less than the reference standard, then EXSTDTY. So here you won't get minus and the 0 value. So that's why you can keep it as it is without +1 symbol. So you do the same thing with EX ENDTN. Okay. So this is EX, E, and EY. So like this, you finish with EX, ENDTN and EX, STDTN. Okay. So once you get the calculations, and you need to do the duration, the last one, because we got EX, ENDY, EX, STDTY. So we need to do the duration of the treatment. For this one, I'm going to create one temporary variable. Okay. Equal to. So we need this one, this information, EX, ENDY minus EN, STDTY plus 1. Okay. So after that one, after these calculations, we need to calculate our EX duration. If you go to the implementation guideline, click on the Control F is not working. Yeah, it's a bit confusing initially, but when you practice, it's going to be easier. And this is the same calculation will be the with concomitant medication and AE. So if you know one data set clearly, and the other data set will be the easier one. So this is- One second, I'll just check this one. So when you type duration, you will get it, but I'm not sure what's that. Yeah, this one is here. So this is ISO 8601 format. Okay. So we are going to calculate in days. So we need to put our duration in this format, P3D format. Okay. If it is in the weeks, we have to put P10W, and if it is in years, we have to put P2Y. So since our the duration is talking only in the days, so the study day, so we're going to keep it in this format, P3D. Okay. So EX dur. So I'm going to use the compress function, compress. Okay. So it's a P3D, right? So P concatenate and put off, because this is in the character format. Okay, this is in the character format, the duration. So you put this one. And we put just apply some format, best dot, and you concatenate with D, P3D, right? So Because here is the 3 is the days, 3 days. Okay. That's why they put 3. But our case is X duration. Whatever the duration we get, it's gonna become here, like P2 or P1D, P3D, something like that. Okay, so run. You understand, right?
Yeah.
So you run this one. You don't have any issues. So this is SDTM-EX1. So now you can see here, it's a 2, which is the 2 days. Okay, in the first, like how many days from the subject is entered to the exposure start date, which is 2 days. And obviously the both dates are same, so it's going to be the same value. This is for the period 1 for the one subject, and this is the period 2, 33 days. After 33 days, like after, so the period 2 he's taking like after 33 days when he entered in the clinical project. So why is P1D only here? Should be like P33D, right?
No, that is the difference, right? So obviously it will be only one.
Oh yeah, that's the difference. Oh yeah, you're right. The EX duration like EX into 1 minus 1, yeah, plus 1. So it's gonna be the same thing. Okay, so anyway, we complete up to here, and we have one more variable to create. Okay, so that is the sequence variable. We forgot in the earlier, right? This one. Because we complete up to, we have done everything. So the remaining one, TPT, TPT num, these are time points. The time point reference, these are permissible variables. We don't have that information. Okay, so the TPT, those ones, time point, like particular time point. For example, so some drug, if you are giving in a multiple time points, like maybe 7:30 a.m., then 8 a.m., then 8:30, every half an hour intervals. Okay, so because we have a different time points, so we need to get that information also in the XTPT, planned time point name. So with the number, we have to give the number, how many numbers, like sequence number we have to give. So that is that kind of information. But here is the only one tablet. There is no time point we have mentioned in the raw data set. So that's the reason we don't have that information. And this is also, obviously, these are the permissible variables. So we don't need to worry about much about this information. And when is the time point was started, and what is the reference for the particular time point. So those information, in case some, like if you are doing like some kind of injections, or some kind of any drugs, if they're giving in a different time points to the particular subject, you have to record that information here for the treatment related information. So since we don't have that information, so we're going to go to the EX sequence number. Okay, the sequence, basically, as I mentioned in the earlier, you give if you have like more than 1 records per subject. Okay, the sequence is in the EX data set. If you check the data structure of the EX, where is this one? Okay, so here they have study treatment, constant dosing interval, and per subject. Obviously, we'll have a sequence variable. But in the DM data set, we do have only 1 record per subject. That's why we don't have sequence variable. And this is a required variable. So we must and should have to keep it in your data set. So for that reason, we need to derive. Okay. So the data DM-EX2 set DM-EX1. Okay. So we need to, like, for example, here this asking. So it's asking for study ID. a specified study treatment and unique subject ID device and the treatment interval and the starting date of the exposure starting data. For example, 1 second, I'll show you the key variables. Key variables. Oh. Okay, here. So in the data set, in the implementation guidelines, you have some key variable for each each data set. So here you see these are the key variables. So you need to sort it based on this one if you need to create the sequence variable, because this is one record per constant dosing interval per subject, right? So if you need to do this sequence variable, you need to sort you need to sort in the by group variables using these ones. Okay, so you get that information here. So because you're going to create the sequence variable, that's the reason you need to keep this one. Study ID, unique subject ID, EXTRT, EXSTDTC. Okay. So if you need to create sequence, if first dot unique subject ID, so if it is a first record, then EX equal to 1. Okay. Else EX SEQ plus 1. Understand? And run. Okay, so we have DMEX2. Why there is only 3? Maybe there's some problem. Okay, by variables are not properly sorted.
Ali,
So
I
we
did
need to
not
sort.
understand that entirely.
Sorry?
I did not understand that. Why did you sort there? I did not get that point actually.
Which one? This one?
No, the sorting, like in the data DM-EX2 set DM-EX1, you sorted, right? Why did you sort exactly? Because you are just trying to get a sequence number, right?
Yeah, I'm getting the sequence number and I'm using the key variables. How do we get the key variables? I mean, like from the implementation guideline, the key based on these variables I'm sorting, and based on this one we are going to create the sequence variable, right? And whenever you're doing the first dot, always you have to sort before you do this one, first dot unique subject array, and this is mandatory for everything. Every time when you're using the first dot, last dot, so you have to sort it before. You're still confusing, or
Kind of. That's okay.
which one you're talking about? Why do we have to sort like this?
Yeah.
So because the sequence you mentioned, you're giving for if you have one subject, more like for one subject, if you have multiple
Yeah.
records.
Yeah.
Okay, because you need to give some number for the multiple records.
Yes.
So you have a subject, then you have multiple records, right? Then
Yeah.
you give 1, 2, 3, 4 for each record.
Yeah.
So in the exposure, how do you sort? As per the implementation guidelines, you need to sort based on these variables.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm taking like you're sorting like study wise, unique subject ID wise, and treatment wise, and start date wise. So based on these sorting only, you get your information. Like for example, what happens if you don't sort, you won't get properly sequencing.
Okay.
Okay, so you need to get like even if you mention unique subject in initial also, you won't get proper way to like to get the sort. So there is a like you have to go for first study wise, then unique subject wise, then treatment wise, then EX study wise. There is a way to do.
But as per, I mean, I don't know. You correct me if I'm wrong. But when you put by and when you put four variable names, only the first one what we put will be considered. The other will not be considered, right?
Why not? Because the study ID will be sort, then after unique subject ID, then EXTRT, then EXSTDTC.
Okay.
It sorts like that.
Okay. Okay. Because I mean maybe I learned it wrong. I was thinking only when we put by and when we put like multiple variables, only the first variable will be considered.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, if you keep the first one will be sort. Then after unit subject ID, then EXTRT, then EXTRT. Sometimes what happens in some project you will be have like almost like 20 maybe 10 variables you have to sort.
Okay.
That much sequence you have to create. So
Okay.
the 4 is very less. So some complex ones you need to sort like that. Even when you go to the vital signs, so when you're giving like even if a laboratory, in the laboratory you will have multiple records, like almost like 10 or 15 for one subject, because you need to get like for like multiple record, you take the like multiple results, right? Like if you have a like any result like hemoglobin, you need to take a record every 1 hour or every 5 minutes, and you put for one subject you put like 15 records, 15 results in it. So
Yeah.
on that time you put which method you use, which test is it, you have to start like that. And with something like that, you know which variable you have to start, and when you are taking this test, and what is the time point, you need to do everything.
Okay.
That way you have to sort it out.
Okay.
So when you're doing the first dot unique subject ID, you always have to be sort. So that is mandatory one. So that's why you get the error there. No, you don't have that error. We cannot open. So you need to close this one. Okay, so now we have 92 observations. So you see the sequence number was given for one subject. The subject has a 2 periods. So it's giving one first period and second for the second period. Okay, and this is 1 because obviously this is 3, I guess. Subject 3 maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's giving like that. So S10 and S11. So obviously the S10 is only one, just a first period, right? So that's why it's giving like that. Okay, like that you create your X sequence. So if you have a like
One second. Can you can you move the table?
yeah.
Okay, my question is, now we have sorted the data by using U sub G ID also, right?
Yeah, unique subject ID, yes.
Yeah, when we already sort the by U sub G ID, then it has to be S1, S2, S3, but it is not. It is not in the seq. It is not like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like first by study ID, okay, it got sorted by, but when we put U sub J ID, then it has to be like 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. But see, it's not in the order, right?
Okay, let's check the study ID. Where is study ID? Okay, study ID. There is no nothing to do anything with sorting.
Yeah.
And which one is the next one? EXTRT, right? The treatment.
Next one we put U sub J ID, and then and then we put.
Okay, here is a reference test. So R is the initial one, right? So R should be first and T is after, and EXSTGTC. So it's taking the last one. You see, the last one is sorting. So here 9, 9, 18, 20, 22, 23, 24, 26, 30. It's taking the last, whatever the by variable, the last one we have it, that is taking it. So it's not even taking this ref test ref.
Can we try using just U sub J ID?
Yeah, you can do like that because the study ID there is no, it's just here only one, so obviously you don't get any kind of. Okay.
Then what's the data set?
So DMX1.
No, this is not.
This
In
one.
sort order only. That is in sort order only. U subject ID.
No, if it is in sort order, then It has to be like one.
No, one come first, and after that one will come, because that is in a, that is not numeric, that is character data.
Yeah, it's character data, but
One second, sorry. So it's gonna be the same thing. So
That is sorted in proper order only. That is character data. That's how it sorts. See, if you see 2 and 20, 21, 22, 23, see the order.
then why S2 is there?
That is what how it sorts. That is in character format, not the numeric. That is how data reads.
yeah, EX. So basically, it is sorting by date mostly. It's taking the date. So in the time and the date, which is the last variable in the sorting.
But that's also in character, right?
This is in character, yes. Yeah, it is in character. I'm not sure how it works, but anyway.
See, U subject will ID will get sort first, then EX treatment will sort. After that, STDT will start. That's
I will check tomorrow. I'll let you know for these
Yeah.
ones. So in case if you have more concern, we don't want to run out with the time. Yeah, that's a good question, but I'll explain it tomorrow. I'll remove this one. But for now, we just understand that we need to sort like this if we need to create a sequence. As per the implementation guideline, I'm doing only for implementation guideline only.
Yeah.
Because one record per constant dosing interval per subject. Okay. So these are the key variables for sorting. Okay, anyway, so this is, we're done with the sequence and we have completed all the variables, and the same thing we did yesterday, how we did with the proc scale. So we keep initial, we keep all the variables, whatever the variables we have. So the DMX2, which is the final data set. So we get all the information here, and we need to get only the required variables, okay? And so data DMX3 set DMEX2. So we're gonna keep only all this data. Maradi, you can do whatever you want as long as you get you create your data set. That should be good. Yeah. So it's up to you how you want to create it, but make sure you follow all the implementation guideline rules. So make sure you are bind with those rules, okay? So don't go outside of.
No, because I just asked, based on what I learned. So it's a curiosity question.
No, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about this one. Why you keep, now you can keep it here. Also, you can ask the question like that. So it's up to you how you want it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying anything. So tomorrow we talk about the AE data set, okay? And after that, concomitant medication, or there is no concomitant, it's vital signs and laboratory. So we have 3 more data set for SDTM. Because if you know 1 or 2, like for example, AE and the CM will be the same structure. Okay. So how are you doing right now? You're gonna have the same thing in the CM data set. So if you know 1 or 2 in the vital signs, basically, if you know like sub-DM, you have created one sub-DM and you know 1 exposure. And if you know AE and if you know the laboratory, the VS, these are the main data set in every project, okay? So if you have that information, it's going to be enough for you can do more the same thing like different, because you're taking the same variables from the implementation guidelines, and the real time also we have the same thing. So there is no extra variables going to be added here. We will have the same variable and the same structure, And you can also take this as a reference for the coding in case if you're stuck somewhere.
Okay.
So it's fast. And how many variables? Domain, subject, title, story ID. So EX root. And then after you do proc SQL, create table, X final, and you do the and you do the same thing how we did in the DM. So you take all this information here, and you allot it like similar like this one. And after that, you put the same thing for XPT files. We change here maybe.
So, Ali, for each project, when we have to make SDTM, it'll be different number of tables, right?
Yeah, there will be some different data sets. For example, if it is oncology, you will be have TUT or TE. I explained in earlier, right, in the first class. So if you have a gynecology related data set, if you have cardiology related data sets.
Okay.
So,
Roughly for SDTM, how many data sets we'll be making?
well, as per 3.2, I guess 3.3. Total 56 domains we have.
Okay. So we have to make all the 56.
Oh, no. So in 56 domains, so you won't have like 56. You will be have mostly maybe 15 or 10.
Okay.
No. So in safety, we have safety related data sets. So it depends on the endpoint of your project. Okay, if it is safety, so mostly you have AE.
Okay.
And CM. So VS, not CM. CM doesn't come in the. No, sorry, it's not CM. So safety, right? So this is mostly AE. Yes, VS is efficacy. In case if they ask in the interview, they will ask what are the some safety related data sets and what are some. So we can do like this.
PK/PD data sets also.
In the safety?
No, sometimes people will interview will ask what is PK/PD domains.
Yeah, the PK/PD, this also come in efficacy, this pharmacokinetics, and pharmacodynamics. So those data set is mostly there for early phase one. So here they calculate the area under curve, area under curve, clearance, Tmax, Cmax. The maximum concentration of the drug, and what is the time it will reach the maximum concentration. Those with the half-life.
What's the domain name?
For what?
Pharmacodynamics.